Hello, and welcome to this August 2024 edition of Monroeville at your service. I'm your Municipal Manager, Alex Graziani, bringing you today's show from the Monroeville Municipal Building. We have a wonderful show set for you, so let's start with a quick look at what's ahead. We'll recap a couple events which happened earlier this month at the Monroeville Community Park West. I'll have the Manager's Minute on the positive Monroeville workplace. And from art to chemistry to filmmaking, local kids got to experience a plethora of themed summer camps at our Monroeville Public Library. A recap is still to come. But right now, a special guest, the director of the aforementioned Monroeville Public Library, is joining me in studio today. That, of course, is Nicole Henline. Nicole, welcome.
Thank you so much for having me.
I'm delighted to have you today because the libraries are one of my favorite things, and there's so much to talk about. But first, let's start with a little bit about you. You've been with Monroeville almost 10 years?
Almost 10 years. It'll be 10 years in January.
So let's talk a little about your career route, because I understand you were for like 4 years a 7th grade school teacher.
Yes. I started in libraries when I was 17 teaching computer classes while I was still in high school. And while I did that, I went to college and got my bachelor's degrees and then went right into my master's for teaching. I taught for 4 years at East Allegheny School District, decided, bless all the teachers, it wasn't for me, but I loved being part of the community. I loved being part of helping people learn and grow. And the place I was always happiest was the library. So I went back to school and got my degree and became a library director in 2011.
Wow, that's wonderful. And you're a person who's been in Eastern Allegheny County, you're Penn Hills.
I grew up in Penn Hills my entire life. My parents still live where I grew up, and they are literally 3 miles from here, maybe a 12-minute drive. And so coming back to Monroeville was, a dream come true. My family's here, and honestly, growing up in Penn Hills, I remember my yearbook in high school, top 5 places to go in Penn Hills, number 1 was Monroeville.
Oh, wonderful. Yeah.
There weren't a lot of places to go in Penn Hills.
No, it's good to be number 1. But you had a little detour. You went up through the Shenango Valley where you had your first library director job.
I did, and I'm very grateful for that. It was a lovely community, and it didn't have as many resources as Allegheny County does. And so it really helped me to understand how to work within a smaller budget and to be very grateful and to pull the community in to see the value of the library, to increase the budget little by little, and to just to realize when we are blessed with what we have.
Yeah.
A lot of people don't realize how lucky we are in Allegheny County with what we have in our libraries.
But that skill set is to our advantage because it's enabled you to, I think, come here for, again, about 10 years and really grow our program from where it was, in 2013, 2014 to where it is now. I think we're like 60% over some of the numbers on circulation over that time period. It's pretty remarkable.
Yes, it has been fabulous. I have an amazing staff and board, and everyone is just excited to bring the community what they need and what they're asking for.
And you guys are doing it. Libraries are so much more than just books. There's all kinds of programming. We're going to talk about some of these things in just a few minutes because we've got some great props to remind us of that. But just to think of the scale, Monroeville to me is a regional government that's done by one local government. So our police force is kind of a little bit larger than you might expect with our census population, and our public works, the same kind of thing. But that's because we're servicing so many people. We estimate our daytime population to be at peak periods between 40 and 50,000 people. And for you, our library is like the 5th largest in the county and really the largest in Eastern Allegheny County.
Yes, absolutely. And we know that people come to our library from other smaller communities surrounding us, but also from Westmoreland County. And when they come to story time, they have a play date, and then they go and have lunch in Monroeville, or they stop and get groceries in really brings people in, and they see it as a place where they are welcome, and everybody is welcome, whether you're a resident or whether you're a visitor for the day.
Excellent. Help people who maybe aren't familiar with the library's at. Give it a location so the viewers can know.
People might be a little bit confused because they might think they're going to the school, because we are on the same campus as the high school and Cleveland Stewart Elementary School. So if you go down the driveway and you see the high school, you're not in the wrong place. You just look to the left and there's the library, and then the senior center is right below us. And actually, if you look at a map, it is right in the center of Monroeville.
Yeah, it kind of works out really nice, and it's exciting to be there because I think there's a lot of synergy between some of the things you're able to do at the library with after-school programming, but even during the day, for example, with elementary.
Yes, we do have field trips. We have an after-school program for teens. Lots of things that we're able to do because of where we are.
Excellent. So let's talk about some of the things we got here.
Yes.
The first thing that draws my attention, my mom was a sewer, and I see the Brother sewing machine. So for me, a Brother was my first word processor / typewriter thing. But
Yes.
why do you guys have a sewing machine?
So what we try to do at the library, of course, we have everything people expect us to have. We have the bestsellers, we have the children's books, we have, your mysteries and your thrillers, we have nonfiction, movies, but we also have non-traditional items, things that people maybe wouldn't have at home, but they want to try it out. So you want to start a hobby, you want to try sewing, but it's quite an investment to put money into a sewing machine. You can borrow one. And
Wait, you mean you don't have to go there to try it? I mean, you could, but then you could sign
you
it
can
out.
take this home. It actually comes in a very nice bag that I took it out of. And you can take this home and play with it, and it has directions with it. There are classes that you can take. We also have crickets, which are not animals for anyone who doesn't know that. Crickets are cutting machines. They started out a lot with scrapbooking, but now people use them to cut vinyl and all sorts of other things like that.
So this is a sample of one of the things that are very non-traditional that you can, like a book, borrow and then return.
Yes, and we also have a fabric bank at the library. So people who, finish a quilt and they have extra pieces of fabric and they, their drawers are too full at home, they can bring them and drop them off at the library and pick out other pieces that...
So is this for a cost?
There is no cost to the fabric bank. It is give and take. And it gets used a lot. There's also yarn and patterns and doodads such as ribbons and buttons. We also have a long arm quilting machine, which is not something most people can have in their home due to space, due to cost. And so people are able to take a class, learn how to use it, and then they can come in and quilt. And that's the part where you take the 3 layers of the quilt and you do the
Stitching.
actual stitching, and it allows you to do a full-size quilt. And those are just a few of the things that we have in the Maker Lab.
Maker Lab. So again, that's just a part where people can try things out, learn new skills, and possibly borrow some equipment to take that skill home and do it.
Yes.
Now these things I'm really excited about. As a new granddad,
Yes.
having a granddaughter just born a couple weeks ago, I love to read books to my kids and now to my granddaughter. So we got some books here.
Yes.
Representative of our great collection.
I did not bring any traditional books because people know we have those, but these are called Wonder Books, and they actually inside have, they play the book. So if a child wants to read it to themselves, they hit play and they just turn the page when it beeps or makes a bell sound. I'm dating myself, but I had this in record form.
Okay.
But now it's right in the book. And this one right here is really exciting.
I like that it has
because
Alex. It must be really highly intelligent or something.
Of course.
Yes.
This is bilingual. It's English and Urdu. And this
Wow.
is from a
Yeah.
grant that we received called Celebrating Our Communities. And we were able to add to our collection books in languages that are spoken in our community. So people whose language might not be, their first language might not be English, but mom, dad, and kids want to sit down.
And that's a growing part of our Monroeville population.
Absolutely.
We're a very diverse community. I've been really impressed since I started in January, whether it was at the elementary school and University Park, how diverse our community is. And I was in Target the other day after one of the meetings, and I heard, I think, at least two languages beside English.
Yes.
There. So this is really a great resource. How cool is that? And wow, this is neat.
So we were very excited to be able to put a lot of resources into that, and we worked with the school to make sure that we're getting all of the languages that are needed.
Excellent. So you got some toy things here?
Yes. We are a family place library.
Okay.
And so what that means, we were trained in learning through play. Kids, especially up to age 5, they learn through play. And so the children's library no longer has computers sitting out. We have tangible toys that kids can use with their imagination. I made a very crude habitat for this tiger. The kids would do much better, but they can do things like that. There are so many more. I just brought a few.
That's such a great resource. So many kids are just so absorbed in their tablet. For them to go into a space where it's kind of interesting, tablet or computer free, and just get at some things and kinetically move things around. That's great.
And we really, most people, that's what they want. They come in, they have play dates, they play with these different toys, they borrow books before they go home. So it's a really nice thing to have, and we try to switch those out and make sure they're educational and make sure that they're things that kids can interact with. And we also have twice a year, it's called Toddler University, and it's a parent-child workshop through Family Place, and parents can bring their child 18 months and younger, and it's 5 weeks long, and it's pretty much a play date with mom, dad, grandma, whoever wants to come. And each week there's a different professional who is there not to hover over your shoulder, but is there to answer any questions. Oh, nice. So a nutritionist. How do I get my child to eat something other than marshmallows? Or someone who deals with speech language pathology, and you might be a little bit concerned, and they can listen, and they can just sit there and play with you and your child, and they can then tell you there's nothing to worry about, or there's nothing to worry about, but you could use this service. So, and it's also just a place for parents to connect. We know the loneliness that people feel no matter what, and it hits new parents a lot. So it's a place where you can connect with other new parents.
And I like that it isn't expecting you to buy a $4 or $5 coffee and worried about other things that your kids might get into. If you have to go to a store or a coffee shop, the library is just so designed for people to be able to have that kind of interaction without having to spend money, and that's really important for a lot of people. So there are so many things. I know you and I could probably talk for a long time, but I want to really give you a chance to just think about the person who hasn't been to a library for a long time. Maybe it's been 20 years since they've gone. What would they experience differently at the Monroeville Library than was in the past?
It's very welcoming. You will not be shushed.
Okay.
If you're interrupting other people's ability to use the library freely, we might take you aside and very politely remind you of the rules, but that doesn't happen very often. Most of the time people are very respectful. But one of the stereotypes is librarians shushing people. That's not something that happens a lot. I think people who don't come often would be very surprised at the usage, not only of the materials, the programs, but the rooms. We have community meetings constantly. My assistant takes the reservations for the rooms. And unfortunately, I have to hear her tell people no a lot because they're already booked.
So it's a gathering space for a lot of people.
It's a gathering space for a lot of people, for a lot of different groups. And I think just the different things that we have Wi-Fi hotspots that I didn't get to point out. You know, people who don't have internet, can't afford internet, or you moved and your internet's not set up yet, or you're going on vacation and you're not sure how the internet's going to work there. You can borrow a Wi-Fi.
You grab one of these and take it home.
Yes, 3 weeks.
Just electric plug in and
Yep.
it starts to go.
Absolutely. And
So do they have to like sign up? I mean, what?
Nope.
I mean, this knows when it's plugged in.
Yes.
It's looking for. Oh wow.
Yes.
That is amazing.
So,
And again, just like this in books, people are borrowing it and then returning it.
Correct.
Without fee.
Correct.
That is tremendous. If you haven't been able to figure out how enthusiastic we are about our Monroeville Public Library, you got to come check it out. It's such a great resource. I think when you look at the budget, it's about $70 a year per person. We spend about $1,500 a year for our local government services, so it's really a small portion. About 5% of the total budget goes to the library. And what an impact. Thousands of people have library cards, tens of thousands and more downloads and so forth throughout the year. It's just a tremendous resource. I'm a big fan. I'm a big user of the library and want to encourage you to come out and do that. And Nicole, you've been wonderful. I know we didn't get to all the things we see here, but we want everyone to come and visit the library. Nicole, thank you for your time. This has been very exciting and interesting, and I know we could spend a lot more time because there's so many things to cover. Thank you for all you do. Thanks to the staff. Librarians, hug your librarian, love your librarian. In general, they're super high level of education and maybe not the best pay. Don't want to discourage anybody who wants to do it as a career path, but it's just because they love people and they love learning, and it shows. When I talk to you and I meet your staff, I always see that throughout.
Speaking of Love Your Library in Allegheny County is in September.
Okay.
So any resident, non-resident, anyone who would like to make a donation of any size, September is your time because it is part of a matching grant from the Buncher Foundation. And so those letters will be going out, those reminders will be going out, but we thank all of our donors from the past and all of our future donors. Every little bit helps, and every little bit is part of that match. So September is Love Your Library Month, and even if you can't donate, just pick up a yard sign that says Love Your Library. That helps too.
That's great. What a great plug for that. I appreciate that. Thanks again for taking the time.
Thank you for having me.
Have a good day.
You too. Thank you.
Coming up next, I'll venture out on the town for a closer look at one of Monroeville's newest amenities. But before we close the book on the library, pun intended, we've combined 5 weeks of 5 different library kid camps into a single video. Take a look, and we'll be back with more on the other side.
Ready? Go.
Dialogue.
Whoa!
Look at that.
Welcome back to Monroeville at your service. It's been touted as the fastest growing sport in the country for 3 years running. In 2023 alone, it saw a 51% increase, up to 13.6 million players nationwide. This, according to the Sports and Fitness Industry Association. Regardless of the numbers, it's hard to deny pickleball's popularity, especially right here in Monroeville. So for this month's Out on the Town segment, we went out to Community Park West, where a grand opening event occurred to commemorate the new pickleball courts and amenities. The event kicked off with a ribbon cutting ceremony. Longtime Monroeville resident and pickleball enthusiast Larry Brandsetter, along with Mayor Graziani, addressed the crowd.
Yeah, this is an inaugural day. This is a big feat. The people that come here are really friendly, and you create a lot of friendships with this game. And the people here, they're really special. And I've traveled all over the place playing, and I haven't seen personalities as strong as here. And it's nice. It's nice.
This is a big deal for all of us. As you can see, the players are excited. You know, when the municipality built this court, it had 6 courts, and all of a sudden there's a ton of people coming out, and they needed to expand. So now we have 12 beautiful courts. Everybody's excited. A lot of work was put into it by a lot of people, and we're just excited to be here. It's a beautiful day.
Next came a round-robin style tournament where the attendees got to try out the new courts. We spoke to a few who thought highly of the courts, but also how the entire process came together.
It's been a long time coming. The pickleball community has been growing here. I think we have about close to 570 members of the group that we play here. And, the courts were pretty bad shape. The community stepped up and built these beautiful courts here. Best around. They are the best within the whole eastern suburbs, even going down to Washington's Landing, Verona, out to Hempfield. Definitely the best courts around. Bringing tons of people into the community, much like the baseball fields here, how they bring people into the community. I mean, it's just a great community event to bring people together and to bring people into the Monroeville area.
Between rounds, participants took some time out for a little Kona ice, because who doesn't like Kona ice? After the action concluded, the winners of the tournament were announced and given medals. But this particular day wasn't about competition. It was more a celebration of fun, fitness, and community, with pickleball bringing it all together. Such a wonderful event to be a part of, and to witness how much people enjoy pickleball. The 12 new pickleball courts at the park were just part of the overall court renovation. There still remains a tennis court and a basketball court, both which were completely redone as well. In addition to the passionate members of the pickleball community, it's also worthwhile mentioning the efforts of our elected officials, public works, and recreation and park staff that help bring this all together. This really is a great example of local government and community achievement. We're not done yet with Community Park West. Up next, images from a fantastic National Night Out event are coming your way when Monroeville at your service returns in just a moment. Welcome back to Monroeville at your service. National Night Out is an annual community building campaign that promotes community partnerships and neighborhood camaraderie. It's a police-centric event for community members to essentially have a meet and greet with members of law enforcement outside of a service call. In Monroeville, we've grown the event to include all first responders and even some of our other municipal departments. Here are some of the sights and sounds from this year's National Night Out in Monroeville. I had such a fun time at Monroeville National Night Out. My job was really simple. I got to encourage residents, little kids and older people to mark on our map with a pin where they live or where they go to school or where they work. And it was such a great time interacting with the residents. Perfect weather, a great night. One of our goals via Facebook or email. With that information listed here, we want to hear what's on your mind. This month's National Night Out on August 12th at Monroeville Community Park West, which was a huge success thanks to Michelle Dush's leadership, was not just a community event, but a testament to our municipal staff's positive impact on our community. The perfect weather and the great turnout from the public made it a memorable evening. I want to thank everyone who contributed to this event. Your efforts have made all of us proud and have shown the positive influence we can have on our community. It was heartwarming to see our Monroeville Municipal Employee team come together and reminded me of why I like coming to work. Recently, I read an article in the Wall Street Journal that highlighted the profound impact of social interaction on work satisfaction. The article, "After the Lockdown Years, Teens Want One Thing from Their Jobs, Friends," revealed that pandemic isolation has sparked a strong desire for social interaction among workers. The key takeaway was that many workers, regardless of pay, find joy in their jobs because of the friendships they form. This underscores the importance of positive social interaction in the workplace. As a father of 5 and a youth leader at my church, the article resonated with me of people's need for positive social interaction. It also echoed a sentiment that I've encountered here in Monroeville. As the new manager, I've asked employees what they enjoy about working for the municipality. The overwhelming response has been about the people. I like working with people here. They're my friends. This feedback underscores the immense value of positive social interaction in our workplace. I sincerely appreciate the culture cultivated here at the municipality of Monroeville. It's a place where people look forward to work because of camaraderie, teamwork, and genuine care for one another. I'm particularly grateful for our employees' dedication to fostering positive social interactions. Your efforts are not unnoticed, but are integral to our operations and greatly valued. You are the ones who make our workplace a place where we look forward to coming to work. Thank you for all you do. At National Night Out, I witnessed many of our excellent Monroeville employees enjoying one another's company and teamwork, and from the laughter shared during the setup to the efficient coordination during the event, these moments of positive social interaction were really, truly inspiring. Work can be challenging, and balancing family and work demands stresses all of us. This is why I want to do all I can as a municipal manager to foster a work culture of mutual care and support that builds community while we serve the greater Monroeville community. I'm committed to creating an environment where we all feel supported and valued, where our work is not just a job, but a source of joy and fulfillment. Be on the lookout for upcoming editions of Monroeville at your service. Next month, we'll show the library some more love with a recap of its Fun Fest event. Find our show on our cable TV channels Comcast 21 and Verizon 45, as well as episodes archived on the MMTV YouTube page. Whichever platform you found us on today, thanks for watching. We'll be back next month with another fabulous edition of Monroeville at your service. Until then, stay safe and be blessed.